Welcome back for episode 6. We are so excited to be back with you. Our patron of the week is no other than Diddy. This guy is fun, entertaining, just saying his name make you laugh. He's a dancing machine, but he's so kind-hearted, he'll give you the clothes off his back. So thank you so much, Diddy, for being our patron of the week.
Turned up Diddy smart. You gonna turn the party up.
You gonna turn the party up. I can feel your energy and you're not even here.
Bluffing.
Okay? With the 1-2 step, you already know.
Oh man, don't get into that.
Thank you, Diddy. Diddy is also the question of the week. And his question is, why is the man always expected to apologize first? Had to keep chasing our dreams. So, Charlie, why is the man always expected to apologize first?
I guess females are emotional, and I guess they look at us to be, the rock. So they just expect for us to automatically hold it down and be the more uncaring one in certain instances. But we got feelings too. We got emotions, and they run strong. They do. So to expect for us to apologize all the time is insane. I don't know, but that's just that is how it is.
Could it possibly be that y'all really be doing the most shit?
I mean, probably.
I mean, is that an option?
Yeah.
It don't have nothing to do with emotions or none of that, but could it possibly be that?
Yeah, males be doing some shit.
Yeah.
Be doing some shit now, but I mean, to apologize all the time, that seemed a little bit like one-sided.
So what would you suggest to make that a balance in a relationship? I mean, clearly you think women should apologize more?
Of course, but I'm not speaking on me specifically.
I know,
saying
we're talking in general.
I don't like to apologize because, for one, if I'm in a relationship with somebody, if I know that an apology can smooth a situation over, why not apologize?
But why, this is my thing, why does it have to be an apology altogether? Like, I sometimes feel like sometimes things happen.
That's all girls be looking for, waiting for.
But sometimes things happen in a relationship, and it just needs to be discussed. Like, it don't always have to be, you were right and I was wrong, or I was wrong and you were right. We both came from a place, and I don't feel like I need to apologize because I really don't genuinely feel like the place I was coming from was wrong. However, I do see your point of view, So can we discuss what happened yesterday?
Yeah, but some females just don't want a discussion. They want that apology.
Why do you think a female wouldn't want a discussion?
A lot of females, they not looking for no conversation. They just want you to admit that you was wrong, so that it could fit their narrative of whatever they trying to get you to see about yourself.
Wow.
So if she's saying like you drink too much or something like that, she don't want to have a conversation about it because 9 times out of 10 she done had 10 conversations, 100 conversations about it already. She just want you to admit that, what, babe, I might do indulge in a little bit drinking, a little bit too much. So, I'm going to cut back on it. You right.
So let's say it's the first conversation about, let's say, for example, a guy is, like, let's say a girl don't have a child, but the guy have a child. And he gets his child every weekend, but he don't watch the child.
Yeah.
Like, he just leaves out, and I'm in there, and I'm cooking, and I'm playing stepmother.
He gonna do his thing.
And, he gonna go do his thing every weekend, and, but this is your child.
Hanging out with the fellas.
Yeah, you need not be hanging out with the fellas. You need to be, like, in here with this child, right?
Yeah.
Because this is not my child, but I'll help you. We in this together.
But honestly, you had to agree to care for that child while he go out and have some fun because he left the child with you.
Right, but what if it was something simple like, oh, this weekend is such and such birthday, but I got my son this weekend, and so, he gonna be over here. You got him for me? Sure.
Yeah.
But now, every weekend, you going to such and such birthday party.
You got the child.
And this little child is in here with me, right?
Yeah.
So now this is my first time approaching you about this situation, and it blow up.
Yeah.
Like it don't go well because I'm bringing up your child, and that's gonna be a sensitive subject.
So now you
anyway.
feel he wrong, but he feel like, oh, you said you was gonna hold me down.
That one time.
That one time.
Yeah.
And now you looking for him to apologize to you, like, you know what, babe, I was wrong, but he don't feel like he should be apologizing because that's what you accepted.
But sometimes it don't even be the topic. Like the child might not even be what I'm looking for an apology for. I might be looking for an apology from the blow up.
It's never, 9 times out of 10, it's never the subject that you're looking for apology over. It's always how you made me feel over that subject.
But why is it not the subject that needs to be discussed?
Like we said earlier.
Because if that's the real problem, let's discuss the subject. Are you going to spend time with the child?
But people not looking for resolution in these instances. They never looking for resolution. It's all about how you made me feel at that moment. You made me feel littler than myself. So now you got to fix that. You got to fix that somehow. And the most logical way to fix that is apology.
Yeah.
Babe, I apologize. Butter you up. Oh, I'm so sorry. And then make the person feel good again.
Yeah.
Back to their regular scheduled program. Back to feeling like they self.
Have you had women apologize to you often in life? Not just relationship? No.
Women, sometimes women, most of the time, I don't think women feel like they got it in them to apologize.
What?
They feel entitled. Women feel entitled. You know what I mean? Because it's just like,
she felt like she don't have to apologize.
Yeah. Like that apology ain't even warranted. That's tough. So I feel him when he said, you know, why we always expected to apologize first. It's tough because I have apologized all the time because I just want to fix things and
keep it moving.
Back, regular schedule program. So apology to me, it ain't nothing. I'm sometimes I gotta bite that bullet.
Yeah.
And, buckle down and say, you know what, I'm just going to apologize because this will get us back on track. And getting back on track is the main thing to me, the most important.
Do you think constantly doing that when you feel like you're not the one that's wrong can start holding resentment? Like, do you think it can come to a point where you like, man, fuck her? Because you've done that so much that... you bit the bullet, and now the bullet is hard to swallow. Like, you know what I'm saying?
It could be that.
Do you think
it could be that if you bottle it in, and then one instance it have you explode. But for me, if I'm constantly apologizing, I'm just gonna get to a place where I'm saying, you know what, this apology ain't even real. I'm just gonna apologize just to get over this situation.
So now you're just giving out fake apologies.
I'm sorry. Oh, whatever.
Yeah.
What's up? You good? Yeah, I'm good. That's all I wanted you to apologize. All right, cool. You know what? Because if I'm doing it over and over and over, obviously you ain't getting it.
Yeah.
So why am I keep wasting energy on something you ain't getting? To me, that's ridiculous. I'm not gonna do that. So I'm just gonna apologize with no substance attached to it. The apology ain't gonna be sincere. It's just gonna be a get out my face.
Do you feel like men get the short end of the stick emotion-wise? Like women just write y'all off as men don't feel anything?
Yeah, of course, because we looked at to have all this machoism, and you don't realize that we have emotions too. Y'all just think that, y'all have emotions and men was raised just to deal with it. But no, hell no, we feel shit too.
Yeah.
We feel shit and that shit hurt. But we just got a way of not disclosing it or showing it on the surface. We don't wear our emotions on our sleeves. Most females do.
Yeah.
And we try to protect ours the best way we know how, and that's not even letting them surface. You know what I mean? So y'all just think they don't exist, but they do exist. It's just that we don't. It's not easy to show them or showcase it.
Yeah, see, I think sometimes the problem come in because y'all.
Because it's looked at as being a weakness. It's being a weakness. Oh, he emotional here.
And that's a problem. But that's a problem, though, because I feel like that's why so many things happen with guys. And we need y'all. We need that emotion to be shown in a certain way. I'm not saying walk around crying all day. Please don't.
But why not?
But
Shit, if you want to walk around crying all day, why you going to hold that against me? That's an emotion.
No.
What if I walk around being happy all day?
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
Right? But happiness is an emotion too.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
what if I can't show one of my other emotions?
Listen, I'm always saying a man should cry.
Yeah.
But the reason why I said don't walk around crying all day, that goes for anybody. Cry a little bit, release. When you cry, you release something. Like something comes out of you with those tears and you feel better. But if you cry all day, like you just walk around and cry over and over and over and over, you've already released. You're hurting yourself. Yeah. You're tormenting yourself. Now you're about to fall into a deep, dark hole called depression.
Yeah, I ain't take that literally.
I know. I just had to clear that up.
Whenever you want to cry, why can't you just cry? Because whenever you want to be happy, you can be happy.
I think that's double-sided, though, because men hold in so much that to ask us to recognize that y'all do have emotions is a hard task.
Yeah.
Because it takes really telling your brain they have emotions because there's really no evidence to show it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, there's really not many, in order for someone to immediately think something, of course, logically, we know guys have emotions as well. Y'all human.
Oh, yeah.
But in order for us to logically think something without it being a lot of stipulation on thinking about it, we have to have evidence of something.
Yeah.
So to be like, oh, he have emotions too, let me apologize first, because that might have really hurt his feelings. That's not something that's going to even cross a girl's mind because we haven't even seen these feelings.
But that's fucked up, though.
It is fucked up.
They do exist.
But,
the feelings exist.
But back to apologizing.
So what if you expect an apology out of me for something that I don't feel like I'm going to ever change? So I feel like you're trying to change me and get me to apologize for something that I love doing or something that I'm used to doing.
Can you give me an example?
What about in that instance? Like, say, for instance, I just love hanging out with the fellas.
Mm-hmm.
If you feel like, you hanging with the fellas too much or, you got to cut them off because you ain't giving me no time, I feel like, I ain't cutting them off.
Mm-hmm.
That's the fellas. I was with them before, I knew you.
Yeah.
And you say, well, you with me now. The fellas is taking my time. But I don't feel you on that, and you ain't gonna feel me on that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So where do the resolve come in that instant?
Whew. Okay. First and foremost, once you're in a relationship, you need to balance, and I think that's where a lot of times that problem come in, because sometimes you're used to hanging with the guys, and I'm all for that. I feel like people need to go. Like, you need to go hang with the guys. And I need to be with my girls. Like, I need that girl time, having some drinks, having some fun, even trips. Like, I want to have my time with my girls.
Yeah.
So, I'm all for that. But there's balance with that. Because if you're still living how you were living when you were single, that's too much time with the guys, clearly. I feel that once you get in a relationship, you have to balance that out. Yeah. And that's not saying, stay away from the bros. That's not that. That is simply balancing that out. Sometimes you need to tell them, I can't come through today. I'm taking my babe out. You can't have people say you can't have your cake and eat it too. I never understood that. Why the fuck can't you have your cake and eat it too?
Yeah, what else you gonna do?
It's your cake. Eat it. Yeah. But, so I don't want to say you can't have your cake and eat it too. But once you commit to someone in a relationship, I feel like you have to give that adequate time.
I understand that, but sometimes it ain't that. Sometimes it's just like the female be like, oh, I don't want you with them because they taking advantage of you and you can't see it. And it's like, hold up, you don't know nothing about what you talking about. You know what I mean? And you will never see it for what it is because you don't understand our relationship. You don't understand what we got here.
For me, typically, unless a guy comes to me and tell me about a specific situation with him and one of his homeboys, I kind of stay out of their relationships. Unless it's affecting me, unless what you're doing with them is affecting me, I kind of stay out of it. And the reason why is because sometimes you could be around a guy and his friends and they like talking to each other like shit, and then you can leave there and be like, I don't really like him. he jealous of you, he this.
Yeah.
But they've been talking to each other like that since they was young. Like, I don't really get into what kind of relationship you have with other people. I think that's a big problem with sometimes when you get in a relationship with one person, you want a piece of all of them. Yeah, and I'm an individual. I was an individual before I got with you. So there's some things that is separate relationships that does not involve you. Yeah. It does not involve your input. It does not involve you to, because that's where I want to say, I don't want to say obsession. That's not the right word. But that's where too much comes in place. Yeah. You know, you had something with me. Let's focus on what we got. You know, what I'm doing with my homegirls, or if I'm loaning her money, or if I'm doing this, she's going to pay me back. You don't know her. I know her. I already know she's going to pay me back. So that's really none of your business. But then sometimes once you're in a relationship with a person, everything is their business. Yeah. You know? And I think that's where a lot of problems come in.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. To me, though, I would say before you expect an apology from me, understand where I'm coming from in the situation. The medium comes in, or the resolve comes in when y'all get on equal grounds, because you're going to understand me where I'm coming from after I explain it to you. Yeah. Whether you agree with it or not, you understand. Yeah. Why I did it.
Why you did it.
So once we'll both get that understanding, now we can move forward. Now you're not expecting me to apologize because you understand where I came from. Yeah. So just understand where I come from before you expect an apology from me. That's the least you can do. You got to give me that. Yes. Now, if we do have that conversation and you don't respect where I'm coming from, or my shit just ain't valid, then you could probably expect your little apology. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? I'm gonna call it a little apology.
Yeah, you plan the apology. You dissing the apology, your little apology.
Yeah, you can get your little apology.
Get your little apology.
But please understand where I'm coming from in the situation before you say, "Oh, he gotta apologize to me," and you feel wholeheartedly that you deserve an apology. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Get where I'm coming from. So when do a woman ever find time to, apologize first?
I'm going to say this part to the women as well. Like, assess the situation. Take a moment and replay. Damn, did I really said that? Because even though he might be wrong.
Own your part.
Yeah, own your part. Because I have to be honest, I know me personally, I've went too far. You know? And even if the initial problem was not my fault. Yeah. I went too far in the conclusion.
Women always go too far. So when you go too far and you at that blow up point where it's like, fuck everything, mm-hmm. and it no longer becomes about the original topic, why is it so hard for a woman to backtrack and say, you know what, I took that too far? I know I took it too far. Because I know y'all know that y'all went too far with that. Come on, this situation was so small.
We go so far.
But now this shit's so big. Now we fighting and this shit blew up.
If I be 100% honest with you, I can't speak for all women, but I can say the reason that happens is because it's real hard for us not to go back to what the problem was. So even though we went too far and we blew up and we talked all this shit and we said things we shouldn't have never said, we in our mind be like, but this all started from that. So we kind of going back to, you did me wrong. Yeah. Whatever the original thing was that we feel that you did wrong.
Yeah, so now you deserve all this.
We're stuck in that. And so that's why I said, if I could say that if we could just slow down for a moment and just replay how that whole thing went out. Damn, I asked him about that. He said no, blah, blah, blah. I pulled out proof. He lied. I went off. I talked about his mother. I did this. I did that. Damn, I'm wrong for that. But then the female don't want to come and apologize because she still feels like you did her wrong. So even though she went too far. And that's where I feel like I'm mature enough.
Now I don't want to apologize because you said all these crazy things about my mother and all that. So now I ain't fucking with you. Yeah. So now why you feel like I should come and apologize to you first? Because of the little thing started with me.
Because of the little thing that started.
Damn, and that's fucked up.
Which
that's crazy.
Which again,
That's crazy though. But that's
Your
how
face looks so disappointed.
I am, because that's how a lot of women operate.
I wish I could give you this amazing answer. However, we are emotional, and shit really hurt us. It hurt us different. We wish that we could be as macho as you guys are and hold it all in and don't call a friend and vent, you know. But to be honest with you, we are the creators of life. We carry life in our bodies. We are emotional creatures. We come on our period. We have a lot of hormones and things that go on inside of us. And when we feel pain and we feel hurt, something different comes out of us. And that's why we go too far, you know, because we give so much. We love so hard, we give so much. And when that's not appreciated or valued, we can't even think about all the wrong shit we said when the argument blew up. We're just going back to that's not appreciated, that's not valued.
Yeah.
You know, and it's hard. It's hard because you're dealing with the opposite sex, and we have different beliefs. We have different ways of handling situations. And if you really want to be with that person, you have to step into their world. You have to step into a God world and know that even though he's not saying anything, it's bothering him.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Because y'all
you
feel
have
like
to
we ain't got those type of feelings. You know, but we definitely feel them too, just as well as y'all feel.
And to be honest, you're my soulmate, and because we're so connected, I understand now.
Yeah.
You know, I never understood men and how they act, because you don't even have to say anything. I already know. Because
I got a system, right? And I think if everybody incorporate this little system I had in a relationship, 90% of the arguments would be voided, right? So I got a thing that I tell myself in my mind, and it's called covering my faults. So I always say in my mind, like, let me cover her faults. So if you was to leave a mayonnaise jar off, I'm just going to come behind you and screw it on and put it back. Mm-hmm. That's just covering your fault. You leave a dish in the sink. I'm coming behind you, wash that little one dish. Maybe she forgot she had to run out the house real quick. Come behind you and do that. So I'm always going to cover your faults. Mm-hmm. And it could be something that simple. It could be something, you know, more major. And my theory in my mind is, let me cover our faults. And if you could cover my faults, then boom, we ain't never got those little teeny tiny argumentative situations, you know, that we gotta deal with because they taken care of.
Now I do have.
You got me, I got you.
I like that. I like that a lot. And I do have a theory about those little teeny weeny arguments. If you are constantly arguing about petty things, like the mayonnaise jar, this, that, it's something bigger going on in your relationship.
Yeah.
You know, you may even be tired of that person because at that point, every little thing is annoying you about them. It's something much bigger going on in the relationship. And I think whatever that big elephant in the room is, that needs to be addressed. I know that sound. Ooh. Do a diddy bop for him. Do a diddy bop. Wow, it's quote time. It's quote time. Saying sorry to someone is hard, but putting your pride down for someone is the hardest. That's by Christina Orante.
Yes, it is. And understand that they get their perspective in it too. So understand where they're coming from before you just automatically accept or expect an apology.
Listen, guys, if you watched this long, please like, comment, share, subscribe. It don't cost you anything, but it helps us out a lot. If you want to become part of the Patreon team, you can go to www.patreon.com/nowuspodcast. As always, we love you for being here. Please remember, you can pretend to be anybody, or you can really just be you. So be you, and we are now us.